It's been less than 48 hours since a series of devastating attacks ripped through the heart of Belgium, right around where we are now standing. We now know that at least 2 of the men responsible were born in the country they attacked, killing at least 31 people. Earlier today, I got a chance to speak to Roberta Bonazzi. She's the executive director of the European Foundation for Democracy, which works on countering violent extremism in Belgium and throughout Europe. We had a conversation as we walked from the memorial right behind me here in Place de la Bourse, the heart of Brussels, to Molenbeek, the neighborhood where suspected Paris attacker Salah Abdeslam was captured last week. It's just a straight 20-minute stroll from where I stand right now to the neighborhood where Abdeslam most likely hid out for 4 months while helping plot yesterday's atrocities. During that walk, Roberta Bonazzi told me the remarkable story of her group's decision to hold their anti-terror conference while a terror attack was unfolding in her city.
Suddenly we got a call from a colleague who said, I'm on a bus, there's just been an explosion at Molenbeek train station. I'm safe, but I'm going home. We were uncertain. Well, among the organizers, we were discussing, debating whether we should do the conference or not. We had all our speakers who came from outside Belgium, and we thought we should go ahead. So we did the conference. We had, instead of the 150 people that registered, only 40 people showed up.
So you did the conference on combating radicalization.
Yes, jihadist radicalization.
In the wake of this.
While it was happening. And one of the comments that we all made was that we knew that it was coming. We knew that we've heard now for years, probably since 9/11, that it was not a matter of if, but when, and now it was happening.
In the US, of course, we're having an election right now, and one of the striking, and I think genuinely disconcerting things for a lot of Americans is the fact of a rise of some version of American nationalism like that. Yesterday, you had calls for a Muslim ban reiterated by Donald Trump. Ted Cruz talked about surveilling, basically securing and surveilling Muslim neighborhoods. I mean, from the perspective of someone who's sort of on the ground working in this field here, how do you hear that?
And surveilling Muslim community, what does it mean? I really think that what a state has to do, and the duty of a security system of the state, is to carry out its task as enshrined in their respective constitutions. It's not about surveilling a community. Certainly intelligence apparatuses need to have intelligence on the ground. Wherever they fear or they know there's either violent plans being undermined, or even before the violent plans, there has to be an awareness of radicalization taking place. But this is not surveillance as in terms of security. It means training educators and social workers, allowing them to understand and recognize the science, allowing them to engage with young people. So we go back to the concept of prevention. Dealing with surveillance is almost at the level of a battlefield. What we need to do is make sure that these people do not radicalize.
The neighborhood we're in has very high elevated levels of unemployment. It has elevated levels of arrest and incarceration. In the suburbs outside Paris, that's the case. I mean, there is throughout Europe, the descendants of people who were brought here largely as laborers here in Belgium to work in coal mines, who are, at the margins of the state in terms of the economic opportunity, the social bonds they have.
It's true. The only difference is that if we talk about the case of Belgium and immigrants who came to Belgium to work in the coal mines, as an Italian, I am aware of large Italian community that was settled down in Charleroi and Mons. And here we cannot help having asking the question, what was the difference? Why don't we see this kind of phenomenon? So there is a reason, and that is religion does play a role. The way it's been misinterpreted, misused, or used by those who have an ideology. And I'm sorry for going back to this element, but that's a unifying factor.
But to me, also race, it seems to me. I mean, the fact of the matter is the bonds of solidarity that Europeans extend from a Frenchman to a Italian are different than the bonds of solidarity they extend to a Tunisian or Moroccan.
Yes,
I mean, that seems
but certainly there are some aspects and reactions that are instinctive.
Right.
At the same time, I work with so many people who have immigrant background or
Right.
come from North Africa or the Middle East, and they're totally integrated,
Right.
and they feel
Right.
concerned. They are the ones
Right.
who come to me and say, you're not racist. We are scared. And by the way, radicalization, foreign fighters, terrorism, who are the first victims?
Always.
Muslims, their own co-religionaries.